Have you ever felt like you are wearing these as you're going through life? Well, it can happen. I was part of an organization years ago and on a particular committee. And this fellow that was on this committee treated me wrong. I mean, when we went up and down the hallways, he ignored me. In the meetings, it seemed like he wouldn't answer questions. And I felt so offended by that guy. And I just needed to deal with it somehow. I didn't want to deal with it that way. This month we're going to talk about forgiveness versus rejection. And that's what I felt. Have you ever felt rejected by someone? Clearing the record of those who have wronged me, listen to this, and not holding a grudge. That's sometimes the hard part. Let's turn over to page 2 of our bulletin. Sort of hard when we got these on, isn't it? Well, I was able to get them off. Let's talk about how to do that. 5 keys to building this quality in our lives. Number 1 is let go of anger. And forgiveness is a choice. We have to choose to say, I'm going to release you in this situation, even though you've done me wrong. And we don't want to ignore the fact that we've been done wrong, but we have to deal with those emotions. And it can feel like you're in an emotional prison with things like anger and bitterness and desire to get revenge. Those aren't good. Number 2 is talk about it. And when this person did this to me, this went on for months and months and months, and finally got to the point that I said, I've got to deal with this. I'm going to go to him. And sometimes that's not easy. Number 3 is heal the wounds. And in the process of talking through this, first of all, we found out that it was really a misconception. And that is, he said, I really did not intentionally do that to you. And we worked through that and heal those wounds and then invest in others. And I showed him respect and kindness after this had happened. And even through the process, I wanted to do that. And 5th is move on. Sometimes people are not going to reciprocate like he did. We have to decide, what am I going to do with this person who's hurt me? How am I going to deal with it? Page 2 gives us more detail about that. That will help you when you read that. Then on page 3, this fellow here, Jim Headley, he was in a company, made a mistake, and he went back and corrected it, yet he still got fired. He said he was angry, he was hurt, and he had to deal with it. Well, he ended up forgiving them. Then on the back, Corrie ten Boom. This woman during World War II was taken into concentration camps by the Germans with her family. Saw her father die, saw her sister die. You got to see how she dealt with it, because forgiveness was important. On these bulletins, again, we've got the tab here. You can tear this off, put it on your desk, because the 5 keys are on here as a reminder. And that's something that will help us as we go through life. When someone does us wrong, and they can do it in a number of ways. They can say something to us. It can be a physical thing. They can embarrass us. I remember one time I was playing sandlot football, and I've got big feet. And as I ran out on the field, one of the fathers up there, one of the players said, "Look at Bigfoot! Wow!" in front of everybody. I was so embarrassed. I didn't know what to do. Could I retaliate? I mean, this was an elderly man, and here I was. And how do you deal with that? When people offend us, and all of a sudden we think about it, and here it comes. This individual and what they did to us, and this person and what she did and what he did. How do we handle those things so that we're not caught up and entrapped and dealing with this type thing here? It's clearing the record of those particular individuals. And we can do that in such a way that we are able to forget what they did wrong, then our life and our countenance can look like this. My mother used to give me a dollar bill when we went to grade school, and even in high school, because she wanted us to eat good, healthy food. My friends used to go down to the gas station, and they'd eat candy. And so they kept on teasing me. "Corey, you got your dollar, you go eat at the cafeteria, we go eat the candy." Well, I yielded. I didn't do what my mother said, I did what they said. Went down and ate the candy, but they not only ate the candy after buying it, they stole candy. And this went on for a year and a half. Well, after my braces came off, I had a mouthful of cavities. There are consequences to wrong behavior. The other was this, the guilt that I lived with for years and years, because I'd stolen from this man and knew I'd done him wrong. I took my 2 boys after 40 years of having done that man wrong, and I said, I need to make it right. I don't want those burdens. I don't want that imprisonment. I want to clear it up. Called him, met with he and his wife, went back and made it right. I figured it was about $50 with interest to pay back for that candy. You know, once that was done, I felt better about myself and about the situation and did him right. And instead of looking like this, it turned around and it looked like this. This is the way to live life. When we forgive others, we can enjoy life as we go through and not have the imprisonment of guilt and a desire to hurt others. Hope this has been helpful. See you next month.